Woo!
Woo!
Woo. Woo.
A little bit of woo.
Woo is a pseudoscientific term.
It is.
It's too woo to be true.
It's fantastic.
It is fantastic, but it's very important to understand that woo is not to be confused with woo-hoo. Woo-hoo is a polygon sex term. For your Sims. Your Sims are making making woo-hoo together.
Oh, I see.
Also, not to be confused with the Nature Boy's signature exclamation. Great Ric Flair. Woo!
Woo!
A little different. Yeah.
It is a little different, yeah. The woo we're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, Ric Flair is 69 years old.
How old?
69.
But
wow.
His skin is like 480.
Well, I'm looking at a picture of him right now. He looks better now, actually.
What, like less tan or less leathered?
Less tan, less leathered, less wrinkly, and he's been married 5 times.
At one point, it looked like he was going to come out of a nuclear explosion, or that he had just come out of a nuclear explosion. Maybe that's what being married that many times does to you.
I would think that maybe that is more of the case than him being too much of a suntanner, having had 5 wives.
I mean, he must have gotten some type of tanning. I mean, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
His skin looks like, it's like an alligator. Like, what the fuck is going on? Anyway.
You know, well, maybe that's what it takes to be the 21-time champion.
And have a daughter who's competing for the title on Evolution tomorrow night, which is the first women's pay-per-view, and that's a shameless WWE plug there, friend.
That's right. Ashley Elizabeth Fleer, professionally known as Charlotte Flair.
Well, her first name is Ashley.
That's fantastic.
She's real name actually Charlotte. She doesn't even have a Charlotte in her actual name. So
no, her real name
is
Ashley Elizabeth Fleer, Fleehr. Dig that.
So is his name Ric Fleer?
Yes.
Oh, that's so gay. I hate wrestlers' real names. I hate when I learn the truth. It always freaks me out. I don't want that.
He was also, but okay, this should soothe you. He was also known at one time as a Black Scorpion. What?
Oh yeah, that's right. I kind of remember something about that. But this all takes me back to when I used to believe in all this stuff, and I used to think it was real.
Right.
When I was a kid, and it was like real to me, and these people were actually getting hurt and getting, but then they'd be back magically next week to counter their opponent's beating.
Well, they were actually getting hurt though too, which is kind of incredible.
I know. That's
the amazing part. They were really do a lot of back problems from all those throws and lifting people up and slamming them down on the canvas. Yeah.
Dude, you have to learn how to be slammed and then get back up again. You have to learn how to be fine and pretend that you're being hurt for a minute or two, and then
get back up. In the later years of Andre the Giant, coupled with his like intense alcohol use, he fucked up his back really bad from throwing people around so much. Like he could barely walk.
Yeah. And Hulk Hogan is fucked up from lifting Andre the Giant over and over again.
Right. Right.
Because once he did it at that WrestleMania, he then had to go and do it over and over again, you know, everywhere else.
Yeah. 500-pound guy.
Mm-hmm.
It's incredible. That's a nice introduction to Woo. Wrestling, yeah. I say wrestling, yeah. That's what I say.
Yeah. But the thing about like believing in it is the woo. Kind of. Isn't it?
Exactly.
I mean,
right. Well, the suspension of disbelief, just like any other form of entertainment.
Yeah.
You want to believe that Tom Cruise is really hanging off of a mountain.
Mhm.
I guess.
I really do want to believe that he's hanging off the mountain.
Or that he rescued people from a fiery car accident.
Or like you want to go see a film about Leonardo DiCaprio freezing himself to death for a long time and suffering and then getting his back broken by a bear. You want to go see that.
That was some masterful marketing with that movie. Because after the fact, after it was already filmed, when it was all wrapped up, then all these stories came out about how, oh no, he was really hurt. Like, he was really in danger out here with the crew of 100 people, also seemingly fine. Like, they were fine, but not the actor himself.
Like, he just kept pushing
the Bear
we
Grylls,
couldn't stop him.
Like the Bear Grylls, his story.
Yeah,
where he'd go out in the middle of nowhere, and then drive to the hotel for the night. Yeah. Right.
That guy.
Woo.
Woo.
The whole world is made of woo.
The masterful woo pedal. Oops, I added the second part. The pedal. Which is the art. To pedal the woo.
Oh, yeah.
Say you have a woo.
Right.
And then you want to sell it. Like, let's say you had some orange peel toothpaste that was like prebiotic. And you felt like you could make a fortune off of stupid rich people in New York who would buy, particularly your clients already, who would buy this toothpaste thinking that their other toothpaste all of a sudden was dangerous for them.
Because they've suffered so many ill effects from their former toothpaste.
Yeah.
In fact, they've suffered so much that they still have the capacity to understand how damaged they are and make a different choice. Like, that's pretty undamaged, actually, really. To use a taboo word, isn't that stuff supposed to make you retarded? So if it does indeed, set you back that far, the damage has already been done. Like, the orange peel toothpaste isn't going to save you.
No.
Or is it? Or is it? So in the marketing of the woo, you need your own version of the world's best soft shouter, Billy Mays.
Billy Mays here. Are your friends all fucking retarded from their toothpaste? They should stop brushing the Crest and Sensodyne and get some of my orange peel toothpaste now. If you act now, you can buy one bottle of this probiotic toothpaste. That means it's before life. by the way. And you
it does mean before life. Yeah. That's true. Prebiotic means before life. Probiotic means pro-life? What?
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Are we making a
It's
connection
all a
here?
bit... Now, hold on a second. I don't know.
So if you're probiotic, you're pro-life.
Yeah. I mean,
all the flora and fauna in your gut should be allowed to thrive.
Yeah.
I'm like an anti-abortion gut flora spokesperson. Don't kill it. Probiotic it.
So that would be considered woo peddling.
Right, so you need to blind or distract your audience from a real explanation to discourage people from going deeper into the subject, to find the real truth of the matter. So, because you can't make money if nobody buys your bullshit.
Right.
So you need a celebrity spokesperson, let's say.
Ah. Right. Sometimes that celebrity spokesperson could be a nanny.
It could be.
But, yeah.
Could be.
Yeah.
Well, right. It's what it is that's an appeal to authority.
Yes.
Like, I'm familiar with this person. She obviously took good care of the kids on television, and was supposed to be funny in her brashness. And I'm not talking about Roseanne, 'cause she was horrible with her kids on television, and also horrible with her kids in real life. So that's you wouldn't want Roseanne to be your spokesperson.
Yeah.
Unless you were.
By the way, I have to just say that the recent Roseanne videos that have been coming out with her interviewing, where she's like sitting, staring out into nothing, smoking, chain smoking, have been fucking hilarious. They have been fucking hilarious.
You're talking. I saw the Joe Rogan one. Is that what you're referring to?
No, there's one from Vice that is just. It looks like she's in prison.
Oh my God! Well, I've seen that one too.
Great.
At her house. It's at her house.
Yeah, and she starts by watching Trump.
And then she's looking at all of her files, and that's what she wants to do these days is organize her files.
Yeah.
Just nonstop smoking.
Yes, but like on Joe Rogan, like Joe asked her how much she smokes a day, and she goes, about 10, about 12 maybe. And then she's like, puts one out and relights it, another one. You know?
Right.
And I'm thinking to myself, like 40, like maybe 80.
Like 10 in an hour?
Yeah, like I think that's what she did on the interview. That's exactly what I saw.
Incredible.
And like on that interview, she was talking about the thing that she fucked up with, and then she sort of spun into, well, I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to make a book to teach all the mothers out there how to teach their boys how to be better men. You know, like as if she still has this delusional ego complex.
Right.
It's the worst.
Well,
fucking hilarious.
It's weird. What's weird to me is that people like that who don't need the publicity, don't need the money, don't need anything from anybody in the public because, I mean, she's made all her money. She's not hurting in any way, like socioeconomically. So what the hell is she doing?
She's like a fame whore. She's seeking fame.
But she was out of the public eye for a long time. Like,
I know. But that's the thing. She couldn't. Yeah, I know. That's weird too, isn't it? Because she wasn't seeking it.
Not really. I mean, she'd say something outrageous that would kind of pop up, but that was it. It wasn't like a continuous like, hey, I'm Roseanne, hey.
Yeah, but okay, so it's so weird. So then that Steubenville rape thing happened, and Op Red Roll happened. So the Steubenville rape thing was like, these football players from a high school videotaped themselves gang raping a passed out girl, and they posted it around school, and then Anonymous kind of got involved, but it wasn't Anonymous. It was this one dude named Derek Loister, who's like now renowned because everyone who was originally sort of called themselves Anonymous or was associating with Anonymous at that time rejected this guy and rejected the op completely because no one really liked social justice ops. That wasn't really what Anonymous was about. So Roseanne suddenly shows up in all of this, like supporting Anonymous and talking with Derek Dick Sucker, who was basically, I think his name was KY Anonymous at that time. I'm sure that Twitter account is still active, but I'm sure it's still there. But
oh wow!
Yeah,
I just found something really interesting.
Yeah,
I just found something really interesting about dental woo.
Okay.
So a big proponent of dental woo, believe it or not, was our buddy L. Ron Hubbard. And he believed that tooth decay can be caused by dental engrams. Remember, we were talking about engrams in your mind, like those bad memories that take on a physical form and still affect you as a real thing, like an object in your head. If you're spoken to while under anesthesia at the dentist's office, you can get these things. So don't ever speak to somebody while they're asleep or unconscious. And if it happens in the dentist's office, you can get these dental engrams that will cause your teeth to rot.
That is some good woo.
Yeah, and that includes the nurse calling your name when it's your turn in the dentist chair. So, but here's the
one must
thing.
be silent.
L. Ron Hubbard himself had a mouthful of rotten teeth.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And he died from a stroke under the influence of some kind of psychoactive drug, that is not disclosed. But it's Scientology no. I think he was on LSD. Which is like, but what's funny about that is that it's now known that strokes are associated with chronic periodontal infections or gum disease. Like that's pretty well known. That's not woo. But, so
I'm going to have a stroke.
No, I don't think so.
Okay. I want to have a stroke, though.
Even people with the things themselves, like he had the rotten teeth problem and he's trying to peddle dental woo, and he's the guy who had the problem. It makes you wonder if these people who are selling this stupid toothpaste have fucked up teeth.
Yeah.
So, And even the American Dental Association is like, no, that's not the one. That orange peel toothpaste, we do not even 4 out of 5 dentists approve of that. They'd rather you chew gum.
Yeah, I was just enjoying some marijuana. Yeah.
Marijuana is, in fact, not woo.
No.
You know why?
Why?
Because it actually gets you high.
It does.
That's true. Ask anybody.
Yeah, anyone who's eaten an edible that was homemade from someone you didn't know.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. That's not woo.
I have a story about that.
I have
a story about medical marijuana, about edibles made from somebody, homemade from somebody, like a third party I didn't know, a big, 2-inch square brownie.
Okay.
And I was about to, later that day I was going to be playing music. So I ate it and feeling pretty relaxed. And then all of a sudden, as I was about to go on stage, every time I turned my head, it was like a camera shutter. Like everything.
I've had that
everything
happen.
became like in weird freeze frame thing. And I didn't panic.
Yeah.
I just went with it, and it was kind of a cool effect. But if I was inclined to be worried or paranoid, that would have freaked me out.
Yeah.
Because nothing was flowing anymore. It was all just these shots of still shots of my surroundings, one after another. And I think I could even hear the clicking sound of the camera.
Oh, God.
It was weird.
So, should I tell you about my murder mystery?
Yeah. Did you murder someone mysteriously?
No. It was an interesting night. So, I have a friend named Maddie who was in college at the time, and her friend Rachel she lived with, and she had a boyfriend who lived there named Mike, who I probably shouldn't have named names, but anyway, so I'm going to kind of
alter the story
a little. Yeah, okay, fine. Good. So Mike provided these recreational activities for New Year's, and it was sort of stated that I was going to be staying the night there. And I didn't really like Mike. I have a thing about Mike. Mike's a bit weird, and he's done some questionable things to Maddie since. So there you go. My intuition was kind of on point. But anyway, so I ate these South American mushrooms that were oddly shaped, and they looked almost like UFOs. I mean, they were strange things. And then I had a drop of LSD or 2 drops of LSD as well, which was super strong. And everything was great when we were watching that Japanese game show where they it's like Wipeout. It was absolutely perfect. It was absolutely perfect. I mean, we couldn't stop laughing, all of us. It was fucking ridiculous. We were dying. And then Mike decided to turn on Psytrance. He decided to take control of the trip. Okay, now we're watching Psytrance. I don't want to watch it anymore. And Psytrance is kind of interesting because it's great for tripping because it takes you on a journey if you can go with it. But if you're not down for it, then you can kind of get lost in it and go on missions and get fucked up in your head. And I guess that Rachel wasn't doing very well in her trip at some point. And she goes off to her room. And then she goes, I've got to go for a walk. And she bursts out the front door. And Mike and Maddie follow her. I stay behind, and I'm tripping absolute balls at this point. And then there's this explosion through the door. And I couldn't figure out what happened. But Mike and Maddie followed and then went into sort of the back area where Rachel's room was. And I guess that Rachel had just gone into her room and was just having a horrendous time. You know, and she had gone walking out into public and like freaked out there trying to just get some space from the party and the noise. And so Mike and Maddie came back out, but I, in my head at this point, kind of started to think something was wrong. And I didn't trust Mike, and Maddie was acting very strangely. Like, Maddie started, like, taking me aside and, like, hugging me and asking me if I was okay, and, you know, like, telling me I wish, you know, this certain person was here that we both knew, because this person was kind of good with taking care of people on a bad trip and helping people through and saying the right thing. And so I start to think that Mike's done something to Rachel, because slowly the party starts to wind down and they start telling me I have to go. And I'm like going, no, I don't have to go. You know, I plan to be here. And plus I didn't have anywhere to go that night. I had told my mother that I was staying with them, so I knew she would have locked the front door. And I had no way to get back in. And I was tripping like absolute balls at this point, you know, like deep into it, you know, probably peaking at this point. So I just start to think that they've killed Rachel, and they somehow get me into the car to drive me home. And we're driving on the freeway, and everything Maddie is saying, I hear her say the opposite. So I'm paranoid as fuck, and I'm asking Maddie questions, and Mike is answering too. And I don't trust Mike. So I'm trying to listen to Maddie, and Maddie is saying two things at once, constantly to me. So I'm like, I'm really not sure what's going on at this point. And then Maddie goes, you know, I don't know what to do with him. And Mike goes, well, we could take him to the beach and just walk him around for a while. And I go, no! And then I really flip out because we're on the freeway getting off the freeway and we go around a corner. I just think we're going to fucking die. I think they're going to kill me. And then all of a sudden we're at my house. Like there was no space in between getting off the freeway. We're at my house and Maddie goes, your house is over here and I can't see anything. Like everything's black to me at this point. Like I can't the world's like almost disappeared. I'm tripping balls so badly. And they drive off and leave me at the house. So I just knock on the front door and get inside. And I try to figure out you know, what the hell happened all night. But it just turns out Rachel had a bad trip and needed all of us to go. But that was the murder mystery.
Huh. That sounds kind of familiar. I think you've had more.
Right?
I think you've had more than one of those, actually.
I have indeed.
That big wooden box that shall never be spoken of again.
Yes, we shouldn't speak of that or a fuzzy tree.
So, you ever have inside knowledge about strangers that you've never met before? Like you'd be talking to someone you've never met, and very specific facts about them will pop into your head out of nowhere.
Yes. Yeah.
That's so weird.
It is really strange.
Then usually what happens is you don't say it, but the person will bring that up. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, you had a cat named Fluffy. That's your thought, and then 10 minutes later they say, oh yeah, you had a cat named Fluffy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's what you might call a glitch in the matrix.
Yes.
Or when people tell you about conversations you've had with them that you've never had. No. Or
God,
you have a dream about something.
Me out. Yeah.
And then 6 months later you're there.
Oh my God.
Yeah. It's so hard to place those moments, but It's one of those weird things that we all seem to share. Or like things that you put down one place that they appear somewhere else out of nowhere for no reason.
Yeah.
Like, and you swear that you didn't pick it up and put it somewhere else. It just, I used to lose lighters in my pocket.
Right.
Like, I put a lighter in my pocket, there it is, and then I reach in my pocket and it's gone, and then 10 minutes later it would be back.
So that doesn't happen to you anymore? Because that still happens to me.
It happened. It happened a couple of weeks ago, actually. That's why I remembered it. All day, like, hey, where'd it go? Where'd it go? I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Hey, can I borrow your lighter? Mine is missing. Like, I'm looking in couch cushions. I'm looking like everywhere, and I didn't. And I'm checking, like, you know, throughout the day, like, I wonder if is it there? And then suddenly it's there.
So I had it happen yesterday, and I actually had to buy a new lighter, and then I put that new lighter into my pocket after I was done using it, and went inside, and then both lighters were in my pocket.
Oh wow!
I've got them both now. I can take a picture. We'll post that up on the video.
I think that would be a great thing to show on the video. Your two lighters.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. What a great visual for people to look at as they listen to us talk about glitches in the Matrix. Your two lighters. That's really great.
It's very odd that, though, isn't it? I mean, is it just that we're having a memory problem or a location memory problem? Or is it that, I don't know. Like, I'm pretty high a lot, you know. I smoke a lot of weed, so I don't know. Kind of spacey. And I don't know if I would be the good judge, but you've been sober a year now, Mr. Marcus, by the way. Congratulations.
Well, thank you very much.
Congratulations.
I deserve all the credit.
You do, indeed. Every day. But for it to be happening to you while you're sober, that scares me, because that tells me that it's not, because it's happening to you too.
Right.
What about
this one? What about this one? In some weird twist of fate, you tell a lie that becomes true. Like you're running late. You're running late, so you come up with a story like, I got pulled over by the cop. And then you're driving there and you get pulled over by the cop.
I've never had that happen, but yeah.
Well, I mean, I haven't that one specifically, but I'm interested in some of these things that we mentioned. If other people have had these specific experiences, I'd like to. It's almost Halloween. Things are kind of spooky. This is we're talking about woo. Here's a weird one. Okay, here's a weird one. This is one of those 6 degrees of separation things. So excuse me. I was at the Starbucks on Main Street in Santa Monica, and I started talking to this girl that I was attracted to, and she happened to be sitting with some guy messing with beads, like some dreadhead guy, and she was receptive to me, and we started talking, and it didn't appear that they were together because of the way she was talking to me.
Yeah.
So I'm like, cool, let's have coffee sometime. And a week later, I moved. I moved up to Oregon. Actually, with that hairdresser friend of mine that we met.
Yeah.
and she had a place in her house, and I was looking to get out of California. He's like, come on up. Like, I've got room. And I'm like, cool, I've got rent. So I moved up there, and literally, aside from her, the first person that I met, we started talking about, where I'd come from, and then for some reason, I started telling him about this girl that I met.
Yeah.
And he started telling me about her. Like, yeah, she's blonde, she's cute. Yeah. Typical, like, okay. And as it turns out, that girl happened to be his ex-girlfriend, and the guy that she was sitting with was her drug dealer.
Cool.
And this is 1,000 miles away. Never met either one of these people in my entire life. Only once. Like, met her, traveled 1,000 miles, met him, and they were a couple. Woo.
Wow.
That's so
like
weird.
Small,
and it's happened more than once to me, actually.
That's small world syndrome, though, isn't it? It's kind of like the 6 degrees of separation of Kevin Bacon's face or something,
Well, you think about, like, the population, though. Like, it's so crazy.
I
like,
know.
The population
I know.
of LA and Southern California, and all these people that you could potentially meet, and happen to meet this girl, and then go up to a small town in Oregon, and like, oh yeah, woo. That was weird. Yeah. And then she's like, oh yeah, she's all bad. I'm like, all right.
All bad.
All bad. You ever hear like a voice out of nowhere that isn't there? Like say something, like not in your head.
Yeah.
Like outside in the world, that like
yeah.
something, and maybe other people with you hear the same thing, and they're like, "What was that?"
Yeah.
Yeah. That's happened out on the beach to me a few times, where someone has called my name.
Mm-hmm.
There's no one around, and other people have heard it too, and I'm like, what?
Mm-hmm.
Like, who said that? That's so weird.
So strange. That's really odd, because I've had that too. And I've had it with other people there too, and they've heard it too. But there's no one fucking there.
Right. It's like a voice in the wilderness. It like comes out of nowhere, and you're like, wow, that must be some weird auditory hallucination. But then you get verification that no, that was actually a sound.
Right. I mean, it's kind of like our wooden Indian, isn't it? Really.
The wooden Indian. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Now, see, I keep going back and forth about the wooden Indian.
Yeah.
Like, did I see something and then suggest it so that you saw it too?
I think it started with me, and I think that's exactly what happened, though. I do.
It's just strange.
Although, I didn't really start to define it until I was done laughing about it for a minute or two. And you had already started to trip on it already, too. I mean, I don't know. I can't remember exactly. It's so tough when you're on substance like that.
It was so real, though. Like, his beard went away, and...
I know.
It was so strange, man.
So basically what we're talking about, everyone, in case you think we're crazy, our good old friend Travi, he we were all tripping on LSD in Oregon, and Travi came back into the van. Marcus and I were sitting in the back of the van on the bench together, sort of huddled by the heater.
No, we were on. You were on the other side of the door. We were on separate sides of the door, so you had a different perspective. I was more in the back, and you were near the front.
Oh, okay.
So we were seeing him from two different angles.
Okay.
Which made it more weird to me that we would see the same thing because we were literally seeing him from like two different 45-degree angles. Like you on one side of him and me on the other. And I was seeing the left side of his face and you were seeing him more like head on.
Yeah.
And he was just
So he popped into the van through the side doors in front of us. And he sort of has this Johnny sort of Bravo adventure, sort of noble, I'm a man kind of gesture with his sort of hand on his hip, right? He had his arm on his hip.
That was definitely his trip that night. Like he was like the spirited adventurer. Yes.
Yeah.
But that changed.
Yeah.
For a moment.
Okay, guys, let's get up. Let's go back to the van.
So, in this weird moment that probably lasted like 30 seconds, he became this wise, like, dime store wooden Indian character.
Yeah.
And he's not Native American.
No.
That's the other weird thing. He's not Native American. He's like definitely not.
Yeah.
But somehow he turned into this still silent figure with like burnished wooden skin and was just staring wisely into the van like for several moments.
And this beautiful flowing hair that went like
this. Like flipped up at the end.
Like this.
It did go just like this. His hair was like this. But the truth is, his hair was not like...
Okay, but then do you remember what happened next when I started... Did I start to describe it, or did you? I can't remember that. Because I feel like I started to, and then you completed it, and I was... But that could be part of our fuckery, too.
Yeah. Well, he had a beard, which was gone. His hair wasn't like that at all.
No.
And he wasn't wise or Indian or wooden.
No.
He was none of those things.
No.
Somehow we created this like real life meme, I guess. I don't know. It's what it really is. Like we can never like recreate this and like make an image of him being the wooden Indian because it only existed in that moment.
Yeah. And that's what it was. But it definitely happened between us, and he was just like, what guys? What you guys looking at? Kind of thing.
Right, because we stopped. Like he stopped, we stopped, and it was just this weird moment where we saw something in him. Like it was almost like we saw this potential, like that he could live up to.
Right, like this shining thing that he could be. He could be this thing. He could. Right.
He aspired to be that wooden Indian, I think, in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Like the all-knowing...
Did you feel that it was noble? Like a noble thing, right? The wooden Indian, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely.
And sort of and like a sign of something brave and something that was sort of like, that you could kind of model yourself after almost, A wooden Indian,
Right. Right.
Incredible. You should be a wooden Indian. That kind of thing. It's like,
right.
Almost like a Hulk Hogan, or like a social symbol of status and what you should be and aspire to be.
Right.
Travis was
Now,
a wooden Indian.
Now, to go back to that same night, to another moment. Now, you know what I'm going to say. See, this is one of those things. You probably already know what I'm going to talk about. It's the joint that looks like Shrek.
Shrek joint.
Yes. And we all three of us all agreed for some god-awful reason that this joint actually looked like Shrek, because it did.
It was remarkable to me that you actually sort of kind of got it together, even though, Marcus, because it wasn't even like broken up. It was just, and that weed wasn't even rollable weed. It wasn't even proper weed anyway, but yeah, it was so funny. You both did remarkable thing.
We smoked that Shrek joint though. And we were amazed that it was even possible. Didn't we not?
No, we started to try to, and then I said, this is terrible, and then we rolled a new one.
That's right.
Travis got all wooden Indian about it and took control and rolled one, you know. Yeah, hey, you guys, come on, man. I'm a pro at this, man. You know.
Oh, that's right. He was upset about the Shrek. That's right.
Yeah, he was
upset
really
about the Shrek.
Of course he was.
Right.
Because he wasn't getting his thing that he wanted.
No,
and
we were having a good time.
It has also taken it. Listen. It had taken like an hour for us to get to this point where we were able to even sit and try to smoke a joint of this. You know, we hadn't smoked anything yet. So we were all kind of a bit like miffed about it, you know. But you had rolled a Shrek joint. I wish I had saved that thing. That thing was like a relic. The Shrek joint.
Definitely. That's so funny. See, but that's a good example of. I mean, I had that memory wrong, you know. In my head, I thought that it had worked, and maybe it was just because I was so proud that I was able to. I don't know.
Right. Yeah, but how about this? Yeah. How about it did go your way, and I'm wrong? How do you know? And however, I did see that same Shrek joint on Travis's dashboard when I came to the farm. I do remember it sort of lingered on his dashboard for a while, hung about the Shrek joint.
Yeah, we did save it, yes.
Yeah. So that deters. So I am right then. We didn't actually smoke it, but we tried to. We did attempt to smoke the Shrek. Yeah.
Very briefly. I think if I remember correctly, Travis put a stop to this even trying.
Mm-hmm.
Like he didn't even want to give it a shot.
Yeah. Yeah.
You ever drop anything and have it just vanish?
Yeah.
That's weird.
But I don't see very well, so that's not a good one for me.
Yeah, but it should be right there, though. Still. I mean,
I've never had it like that. I mean, sometimes, but yeah, I've had a few. Yeah, okay, yeah.
And I'm not talking about dropping something in the sand at the beach and it goes under the sand.
Or a coin or a ring dropping on concrete and bouncing. You're not
right, and it's just gone. Well,
right.
Even, or even a coin dropping on the ground, and you hear it dink dink, and then you're like, oh, it must be right here, but it's nowhere.
Yes, I've had that. Yeah.
And it didn't roll away because you would have heard it.
Yeah.
It would have sounded differently when it fell. That's so weird. What's going on with that?
Don't know.
I don't know either. But it's all woo. I do know that. Because there must be, real explanations for all of this stuff.
Yeah, and it
that
must
we
be
just
like
don't
human
understand.
flaw. Stupid human flaw. Stupid ape people. You know?
Right? Or weird, weird noises, and you're like, oh, it's the house settling. Or that dog barking.
Right.
Right. Like, hey, did you just hear a dog bark? Yeah. Where's the dog?
Oh.
I don't see a dog here, but I heard it.
It's funny because I'm actually looking for the dog now and I can't fucking see the dog.
Right.
But
That's exactly when.
Oh, I know where it is because I know whose dog that is. And I saw them and they're over behind things that I can't see the dog. So there's something in the way.
But then you go and ask the people and you're like, hey, your dog's barking. And they're like, we don't have a dog.
Right?
Yeah.
I've never had that happen. But yeah, okay.
I mean, just putting it out there.
These are good examples.
They are good examples. I like that we have a guest now on the show. Hey, dog.
Hey, dog.
Yeah. So what do you think about the political situation in the world, dog?
Are you a Trump supporter? Are you alt-right? Yeah?
It's so typical.
Nazi?
You put someone on the spot, and after they've been yelling about whatever, and you say, hey, here's the real question, and then nothing. No. Okay.
He's not a Nazi, right? Yeah, okay. Cool.
The dog is not a Nazi. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
He was pretty vocal about that. It's like, listen, buddy.
Yeah. It's actually the dog of the person responsible for, the person who invited that person who OD'd last night.
Oh, goodness. Maybe that's what the dog is so upset about.
I would be. He's got a shitty master.
I'd be yelling at him, too.
Probably.
Yeah, makes sense. Well, when it all comes down, this has been episode 28 of the V2V Podcast with Shorts and Aurelius.
It has.
And we've been talking about woo.
We have.
All kinds of woo. Like a lot of woo was made.
Yes.
A lot of
all the
woo with pedals.
Words.
A lot of
all the pedals.
Woo. Got Ric Flair and his woo.
And his skin.
And his skin. And the wooden Indian. We hit all the good points, I think.
Yes.
I have a feeling this is going to be one of our most popular podcast episodes.
I hope so. It's quite interesting, actually.
Well, I'd listen to it.
I would, too.
Cool. Well, I guess then we did a good job.
In fact, I will.
Yeah, I'm going to definitely listen to it. I kind of have to listen to it.
Yeah.
Because I need to edit that dog barking so that it actually makes some sense, so we can have a conversation with the dog. I may do that.
Cool, that's awesome.
If I feel up to it, maybe I'll just put the dog in like randomly. I don't know.
You should, yeah.
Yes, I should. And then people will be upset about the misuse of dog barking in our podcast episode.
Yeah, no one likes the sound quality. Everyone's pissed about sound and everything. I'm like, well, fuck you.
Really? Is that what you're hearing?
No, I mean one person said something about that about Jamone, but I don't really care. I think that's important
Jamone.
with it.
Well, look, Jamone is a different thing entirely. Jamone isn't. Here, newsflash, everybody. Jamone is not really supposed to be good.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think that should be clear. That, like, I want my Jamone to be better. Well, then make your own Jamone.
Exactly.
They're not making Jamone. They're not. No, they're not exploring the implications of Rubin's what's
willingness
the word?
To dope him?
Enabling of Jamone. They're not investigating what a true to life tragic comedy the last days of Mike Jamone really is. I mean, it's just all superficial. Like, they're like, well, Jamone didn't really sound like that. Well, yes, he did. Jamone, if you met Jamone in real life, it would be all weird and garbly and high pitched.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you would have a hard time understanding what Jamone was saying because that's how he spoke.
And if you met Rubin in real life, he would sound like that too.
Yeah, well, I see people. If they really cared about Jamone, they wouldn't be just saying, "Oh, I don't like it." They would be saying, "Why did you make this? Like, what's really going on?" But they just don't understand. You know what it really is. They don't really care about us.
No.
Yeah, and that's cool. So, I'm excited about what's next. After we finish Jamone.
Me too.
It's gonna be definitely different.
Mm-hmm.
Better, certainly better sound quality. For I guess we're calling it Armageddon.
Armageddon it?
Yeah, Armageddon. Are you getting it?
Really getting it?
Def Leppard Arm.
It.
And this hasn't really been disclosed yet, and I probably shouldn't, but there's going to be a few characters, I think, from Jamone that pop up.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the wandering eye. Who, we can't really talk about who that is yet because it would be too much of a spoiler, I think. But the big Jamone eye is going to be cast as a different character in the Def Leppard Arm series about a lonely severed arm making his way through the world because he didn't like the beat.
Def Leppard.
Well, a lot of people like the production work. It's so fun. That's what when people when they tell people about, hey, we're doing this Def Leppard project.
Yeah.
And they say, oh, Def Leppard, I really like the production sound. It sounded great. And I'm like, well, what about the songs? No, don't really like the songs, but I really like the production.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, in order to live up to that standard, there's going to be some clarity with the sound and the animation is going to be stepped up a bit too. It'll take longer to make, but the arm's journey is a longer journey. It's not the last days of Def Leppard Arm; it's the beginning.
Yeah.
So
the arm lives. He has a full life.
So it's cool. We're doing an ending kind of story, and then next we're going to do an origin story about how this lonely arm made its way through the world and found success.
Yep.
I'm excited about it.
Me too. It's such a great idea. I'm sorry, but I love my idea. I think it's a great idea, and I love that you took to it too. And together we kind of formed this idea.
Yeah, I'm figuring out because the arm needs to be articulated so he can move around, and I may draw it.
Yeah.
I may do that, and do a green screen,
Right.
so that the backgrounds will be kind of wherever we want the arm to be able to go.
Sure.
And in all these situations where he might be the only one like moving. I'm not sure yet, but there's going to be a lot of narration with this one, I think, too, because obviously, like, the arm can't talk.
Yeah.
But he's going to tap with his drumstick for communication.
And probably, like, make expression with its bicep, maybe? Like, flex the bicep, or, like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, maybe that could be, I don't know.
Well, yeah, because the arm, like the real arm itself, is up to the shoulder blade. So
yeah,
the wrist and elbow and the shoulder will move. So it'll be like articulated in at least 3 spots, and the hand too. I'm gonna figure out because he needs to grip the drumstick in different ways, so he can play the drums or tap on the sidewalk or. So I think there's going to be like narration, and then the arms travels, and then when his like savior shows up, like that character is going to be talking. Maybe his manager is going to be the narrator, perhaps. I don't know. There's some stuff to work out, but I think it's going to be.
I have some ideas. That I think we'll talk about those off there.
Yeah,
and I have
definitely
to go
more.
Also.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah.
Pretty soon. But
leave off. I think these like each episode of that. I think they're going to be more like scenario based rather than like conversational, like Jamone.
Yeah.
Like he finds himself in these like different situations as, you know, the lonely severed arm out in the world looking for the right beat. And so there'll be little like vignettes about his travels and how he manages to make his way through the world.
Yeah.
There's lots of options. I mean, he can go anywhere, which is cool.
It's really cool. What episode is this? What number episode is this, by the way?
28. 25 was the big 25.
Yeah.
26 was Kavanaugh Syndrome.
Yeah.
27 was Venice Bleach USA.
Yeah.
And episode 28 of V2V Podcast is Woo.
Woo.
All the way.
All right. Bye, you guys.
Bye. And we're not even going to ask you to like do all that good stuff that we ask you to do on YouTube. We're just going to leave it at that and have a good day.
Have a good day. Bye.
Bye.